and welcome to Culture Mosaic on VTV International. Now this week, the international and local music scenes have lost one of its most famous traditional music scholars, Professor Trần Văn Khê, who died at the age of 94. Footages on his life, career and his endeavor of preserving and promoting Vietnamese traditional music will be the very first part of our show today. Professor Trần Văn Khê devoted to promoting Vietnamese traditional music until his last breath. Moving on to the next part, Hanoi Lotus homes offer photo extravaganza. Talk with Vietnamese American indie singer who celebrates diversity in Vietnam. And Vietnam and India's flexible yoga relationship. The fact that renowned Professor Trần Văn Khê passed away was one of the highlights of the local cultural scene over the past week. Professor Trần Văn Khê, known as the master of the traditional Vietnamese music, died at the age of 94 early Wednesday morning in Ho Chi Minh City due to the elderly health issues. Let's now review his life, career, and zealous devotion as a way to pay tribute to this professor.
Professor Trần Văn Khê was born in 1921 into a musical family in the southern province of Tiền Giang. He played several Vietnamese traditional instruments. The expert fulfilled his childhood passion for the music of his home country by working his way through college in France in the 1950s. He was later a lecturer of Asian music at the University of Paris-Sorbonne. He was the first Vietnamese honored by the internationally recognized Encyclopedia of the Pleiad. He lived in Paris for 5 decades and always nurtured his love for Vietnam's traditional music.
Tôi luôn luôn từ trước tới bây giờ có một cái công việc làm, tức là giới thiệu âm nhạc Việt Nam rộng khắp năm châu và sâu trong muôn trong dân tộc Việt Nam, với cho người Pháp bằng tiếng Pháp, cho người Mỹ, người Anh bằng tiếng Anh, và trong khi đó tôi tiếp tục luôn luôn là đem những cái gì hiểu biết của mình mà truyền lại cho thế hệ mai sau.
Trần Văn Khê also played a central role in earning UNESCO's recognitions for Vietnamese traditional music. These genres include nhã nhạc Huế or Huế court music, ca trù or northern ceremonial singing, the Central Highlands gong culture, and đơn ca tài tử or southern folk music.
Hồng ôi nguyện tơ hồng dung bút thì lòng trẻ tình thủy tài tử đi nhận cho chân chói là khẩu ý khẩu thẳng vui đầy dây tơ hồng thay láo nguyệt khéo buộc kết cuộc cho thành.
Since 2006, Trần Văn Khê's home in Ho Chi Minh City has become a venue for artists and musicians to congregate. As written in his last will, his museum-like house, which is full of Vietnamese traditional musical instruments, will be turned into a memorial house under his name, Trần Văn Khê. This place will help the younger generation continue his endeavor of preserving and promoting Vietnamese traditional music.
Tôi sẽ tiếp tục làm công việc từ ngày xưa, là tiếp tục việc làm theo lý tưởng, sống nhờ trời Phật thưởng hồng ân, và luôn luôn sẽ làm việc tới hơi thở cuối cùng. Xin cảm ơn quý vị khán giả.
Vâng, xin trân trọng cảm ơn giáo sư Trần Văn Khê vì buổi nói chuyện.
Upon hearing news that Professor Trần Văn Khê passed away, a lot of overseas Vietnamese have expressed their grief and sadness over an unfathomable loss of traditional Vietnamese music scene. We have contacted them via Skype, and some have shared with us of their unforgettable memories with Professor Trần Văn Khê when he was alive. Let's now relive the moments with them in the following.
During half of his life abroad, Professor Trần Văn Khê had been lecturing in many universities across the world and writing hundreds of articles to promote the traditional Vietnamese music. He has therefore inspired many of his students including Trần Phương Hoa, a traditional Vietnamese music teacher in a music school of Berlin, Germany.
Khi nghe giáo sư Trần Văn Khê giảng dạy về âm nhạc Việt Nam ấy, thì tôi thấy là như là mở ra một cái hướng mới, một sân trời mới. Bởi vì là ông nói những cái điều mà có lẽ là từ bé mà chúng tôi học và chúng tôi cũng chưa được có điều kiện để nghe kỹ như thế, và ông phân tích về âm nhạc Việt Nam lúc đấy tôi thấy nó hay lắm, và nó có một cái gì nó rất là lạ. Cái đấy làm cho tôi rất là ấn tượng và tôi nhớ tận bây giờ.
It's been a long time, but Ngân Hà, a course master living in Paris, can still have a vivid memory of her very first lesson of zither with Professor Trần Văn Khê.
Khi mà học nhạc dân tộc á, thì có những phần nghĩa là đối với tôi rất là khó hiểu. Nói về điệu Nam Xuân chẳng hạn, mà đờn tranh trước khi hát á, là mình phải dạo vài câu, mà dạo làm sao cho cái hơi xuân nó ra hẳn là hơi xuân, thì đối với tôi vô cùng là khó. Thế mà bác Khê ngồi bên cạnh tôi, hướng dẫn cái ngón tay của tôi 3 ngón, nghĩa là nhấn và rung như thế nào để mà nó ra hơi xuân. Bởi vì xi xích một chút đó là nó không có ra hơi xuân nữa. Bác Khê giảng bài một hồi đó là thấy say mê ngay. Bác Khê có cái tài đó.
Professor Ngô Thanh Nhàn of New York University never met Professor K once in his life, but he still admires his dedication to bring traditional Vietnamese music into the light of science and modern musicology in order to show its best to the world.
Nghiên cứu và khai phá của giáo sư Khê làm nổi bật cái đặc trưng sâu xa của nhạc dân tộc Việt Nam. Nó khơi dậy niềm tự hào về cái di sản to lớn của nhạc dân tộc Việt Nam. Nhờ đó thì ngày nay khi biên soạn dạy học đàn tranh, tôi cũng đã có định hướng rõ ràng hơn về cái cách mình phải dạy các em như thế nào.
After his death, Khê left behind thousands of precious documents and musical instruments for future generations. However, the biggest inheritance from him may well be the endless inspiration to preserve the musical heritage of the nation.
Rất hãnh diện, rất là đánh giá cao, cảm ơn giáo sư Trần Văn Khê đã đưa cái nhạc dân tộc Việt Nam lên cho thế giới biết ở một cái mức cao nhất.
Tại Âu Mỹ thì không ai không biết đến giáo sư Khê và các thành quả của giáo sư về trình diễn, về thuyết trình, về nghiên cứu, về giảng dạy, về quảng bá nhạc dân tộc Việt Nam.
Không những ở UNESCO, tổ chức quốc tế này, mà các đại học hãy nói đến nhạc Việt Nam là nhắc đến bác Khê.
Với tôi thì tôi nghĩ rằng đấy là một tấm gương lớn mà bản thân tôi cũng cần phải học tập và nói theo, bởi vì chúng tôi cũng là người đang tiếp bước làm công việc của nó trước đây mà giáo sư Trần Khê đã từng làm ở nước ngoài.
For all of his dedication, Vietnamese people will forever remember a devoted musicologist who spent his whole life on promoting the nation's treasure.
The ponds near the capital Westlake are now covered with the pink of lotus blossoms during May and June. Besides enjoying lotus-scented tea or sweet drinks made from lotus seeds, the attractive lotus flower have now become props for many Hanoians in their photo. In our edition of Cultural and Lifestyle this week, we take you to the Westlake and explore a photo journey with our VTV reporter Thuy Linh.
To Vietnamese people, the lotus is more than just a flower. Seeing a lotus, people often feel as if their entire body and soul are purified. Despite being nurtured in mud, the lotus is a symbol of purity, commitment, and optimism.
It's lotus season now in Hanoi, and Hanoians have many different ways to celebrate the beauty of the lotus season. And one way is to take photos. It's 7:30 now, and as you can see, this pond is filled with people going to take pictures. So let's join me to explore a photo journey.
This group of young women were the first ones to arrive here this morning. They come from the same family.
Tôi phải dậy, cả các em tôi phải dậy từ 4 giờ sáng để nhờ người làm tóc và bắt taxi lên hồ.
The women chose to wear áo dài, the traditional Vietnamese dress.
Khi chụp sen thì người ta sẽ thường nhớ đến hình ảnh một người thiếu nữ dịu dàng, tao nhã. Vậy thì không có cái gì có thể gợi nổi bật lên cái người con gái hơn là một chiếc áo dài.
By 7 a.m., the crew has already taken some of their best shots. For Lộc, the photographer hired by the family, the best time to take photos is from 6 to 9 in the morning. Under this light, the green of the lotus leaves and the early dew and the pink lotus blossoms are at their best.
Thì khi mình chụp cái bông hoa sen lên thì mình thấy cái thể hiện của mình là cái lòng mình yêu nước ở trong đấy, với cả trong khi mình làm nghệ thuật chụp cái ánh sáng này, những bông sen nó lên khi mà ngược sáng thì nó rất là đẹp.
Besides the áo dài, the áo yếm is another option. The áo yếm is a square piece of cloth with one corner cut out to fit the neck and two waist strings to tie the two lower corners. The áo yếm is a traditional dress popular in the 18th and 19th centuries. Hair and makeup is also very important. According to Huyền, a makeup artist, the popular style for the lotus theme is natural, elegant, and simple. Huyền has to get her makeup set ready at 4 in the morning to welcome her first customer.
Điều thú vị của nghề của em là em thấy làm cho được người khác xinh ấy. Với cả kiểu thấy người ta thấy xinh, không người ta ai soi gương lên, ôi khác đấy, kiểu mình rất thích ấy.
Taking a different approach from other photographers, Phan Anh takes pictures of subtle things that many photographers do not notice. Phan Anh's object are lotus. And normal people with their lives surrounding lotus, depending on lotus season.
Hồ Sen vẫn là một trong những địa điểm tham quan rất là đẹp của Hà Nội. Nhưng mà dù sao thì đây vẫn là một cái địa điểm thiên nhiên, nên là khi mà mình đến tham quan cũng như là chụp ảnh thì mọi người nên là cố gắng là gìn giữ được cái nét đẹp của sen, không gây ảnh hưởng đến hồ sen, để cho giữ được đây vẫn là một nơi yên bình của Hồ Tây.
When the photo shoot is over, visitors can buy lotus flowers from the pond to take home. The subtle fragrance of the lotus mingles in the air and reminds Hanoians of the very precious flowers and space the city still has.
You're tuning in to Culture Mosaic, our weekly journal featuring the rich cultural diversity of Vietnam. We bring you the latest in the domestic art scene with the contributions of both Vietnamese and foreign artists, thus connecting you with the best in the local and international creativity. So do not go away. We will have a lot more in this week's instrument coming up for you in just a moment. Vietnam and the United States are heading towards the 20th anniversary of friendship. And what a better way to celebrate these but with a talented musician with a little bit of both. Vietnamese-American indie rock singer Thảo Nguyễn is one such person. So in this week's editions of On the Mic, our reporter Michael Liu will bring you an exclusive interview with her from the festivities of ASEAN Pride 2015.
Thảo Thảo Nguyen is fast becoming one of the most popular American indie rock artists today. The Vietnamese-American singer and her band, The Get Down, Stay Down, have attracted nearly 40,000 fans on Facebook and over 100,000 views per YouTube video on average. Thảo then hits the Vietnamese stage for the very first time at ASEAN Pride 2015 in her very own parent homeland, Vietnam. Hi, so fantastic performance. Your first time back and you're already performing music. How did it feel?
I feel hot. It was a pretty sweaty show, but I'm so glad that it happened. It's a really amazing opportunity to come for the first time, but also to feel like I'm returning to a sort of home. Because it's been 42 years, it's beyond poignant. You know, the opportunity to come back as a performer, to be able to see Vietnam for the first time with my mom, having grown up in a Vietnamese household, but in America.
How did you connect with the people that you were performing to tonight?
We always try to put on a good performance, but I wanted them to know I was so happy to be there, and I felt a very strong sense of unity, and I'm so proud to be a Vietnamese American. I'm so proud to come back to my roots, to see where I come from, you know.
So what made you come here and join this event that celebrates LGBT rights?
As a person who identifies as queer, this is such a sort of transcendent, groundbreaking, progressive event to be at. My family's been so supportive and accepting, but to see it actually happen in Vietnam is so beautiful, and I never thought, I actually don't even believe it.
As both a Vietnamese American and strong female creative voice, Thảo joined 9 other Southeast Asian artists to inspire Vietnamese youths. What message did she want to deliver through her music?
A priority of mine is to break the stereotypes of an Asian American woman, an Asian woman who, is in general raised to be submissive, raised to be quiet, raised to be silent until spoken to, and that's really important for me to be on stage and show my strength and be loud and be powerful. And that's a direct result of my upbringing.
To welcome her passion and support for gender equality, over 4,000 fans rocked up to see Thảo performance.
Rất là vui vẻ và rất là hết mình với các bài hát ca khúc và ca nhịp điệu và khán giả sẽ hết mình.
It's a really wonderful festival. It's really nice to be here. Everybody is a very happy spirit.
To finish off their blast of a performance, Thảo and the Get Down, Stay Down played their latest hit with over 350,000 views on YouTube, We the Common. So I'm aware that one of your favourite songs is We the Common. Can you explain the meaning behind that song and what came to your mind when you composed the song?
It is about caring about one another. It's about finding a sort of unity and taking up for one another. But the true origins of it are, I'm a member of the California Coalition for Women Prisoners. I'm an advocate for women prisoners, and that song comes from a conversation with a friend of mine who I visited, who's serving a life sentence without parole, and that came from a conversation about how much she missed her daughters and how she didn't want to die in prison. and that relationship between mother and daughter is very poignant for me. So that's what that song is about.
So growing up as the only person in your family playing music, how did you overcome the opportunities and challenges to come here tonight to perform music?
I came to love music as my only steady companion, and I grew up in the suburbs, and we had a pretty tumultuous household, and so I was sad and lonely a lot. So I picked up guitar when I was 12, and I taught myself, and it's always been how I processed things, or how I got by.
What elements of traditional Vietnamese music did you bring into your performance tonight?
You know, I think my heritage, as any biographical element, is just intrinsically present in my songwriting and in my music writing and performance. And you know, a lot of my guitar picking, a lot of the different stringed instruments I play guitar and banjo and mandolin and some slide. And a lot of that picking, I didn't realize until I listened to it again as an adult, comes from hearing very traditional folk instruments, đờn tranh, đờn bào, đờn tam, you know, and that kind of picking, which I always attributed to American old-time music, I've realized that a lot of it comes from growing up listening to cải lương in the background.
Honey, look alive. It's just human troubles in the modern times. You have caught your worry, early death enough. No more of the reasons you got plenty of. But what if you just breathe the breath of the wanting life?
So what future plans do you and your band have with Vietnam?
Actually, I was talking to the MC this evening, and we were at dinner the other night, and he was saying that maybe I could come back, and he's involved with different organizations with orphanages and different nonprofit sector organizations that perhaps I could get involved with.
So thanks for joining our program. Good luck to all your future shows as well.
Thank you so much.
Yoga is an Indian physical and mental form of practice that has gained prominence worldwide. And last week, on June the 21st, Vietnam and some 190 countries celebrated the International Yoga Day. Let's take a look at this week's editions of Connecting Culture to see how the day has connected practitioners in Vietnam, India, as well as all over the world.
From its ancient beginning in India thousands of years ago, yoga aims at the balance of the body and mind, the unity within each person, and the unity within nature and all mankind. Yoga spread across the globe during the last century. It has become popular as a method of physical exercise from New Delhi to New York. Neharaka, an Indian yoga master, has practiced yoga for more than 10 years now.
I started very early in my young age, but then I pursued yoga as a profession, plus as a teaching to learn more and spread more, because earlier yoga for even me was only exercise. But when you learn the basics of yoga, the whole purpose of doing yoga, then you understand that yoga is not only exercises, it's much more than that.
With a desire to spread that yoga's ultimate goal, Neha arrived in Hanoi last week to prepare for the biggest yoga event in Vietnam to celebrate the world's first International Yoga Day. Despite being a new arrival, Neha rapidly connected with local practitioners and came to understand why yoga has gained such popularity here in Vietnam.
In fact, in Vietnam, they follow the yogic way of life. They wake up very early, they have their breakfast early, and then they are having this eating habit and the sleeping time, all in a yogic way.
Yoga came to Vietnam about 10 years ago, first through Vietnamese yoga instructors and then Indian masters. In major cities, yoga can be seen practiced in many places, from parks to modern gyms. According to Hiền from Hanoi, a yoga enthusiast for 7 years now, lessons with Vietnamese and Indian yoga masters have provided her with different experiences.
Các thầy cô giáo Việt Nam ấy thì dạy điềm tĩnh hơn, thở nhiều hơn, xoa bóp các cái phần mà các cô bảo mình là huyệt, các huyệt đạo. Còn các thầy của Ấn Độ thì đến với mình với nhiều các cái tư thế tập, các asana nhiều hơn. Mỗi một tư thế thì các thầy đều nói cho mình biết rằng là cái tư thế này sẽ tốt cho bộ phận nào, sẽ làm cho mình được cảm thấy thoải mái ở cái khu vực nào của cơ thể.
With the love for yoga, Hiền was among 900 yoga lovers who joined the record-breaking yoga session to celebrate the International Yoga Day in Hanoi on June the 21st. Regardless of who they are, whether beginners or masters, Indian or Vietnamese, they all speak the same language of yoga. Yoga has brought them to complete harmony and tranquility.
Tập trung với tất cả với mọi người, chị thấy hạnh phúc lắm, hạnh phúc không diễn tả là không diễn tả được.
Khi tôi xuất phát ở nhà lúc đó là 5 giờ sáng và tôi đi đến đây và tôi cảm thấy là đến gần đến đây cái tôi thấy đầy năng lượng.
It's amazing. You can't imagine the enthusiasm the people showed since morning 6 o'clock. They did the practice so well that I think they were in complete harmony and sync with each other. So I'm so happy and excited to just see their love for yoga and for me too.
It helps us understand each other. It helps us understand our culture better because yoga, although it originated in India, it belongs to the world. And the fact that it has been embraced with such enthusiasm in Vietnam shows it belongs to Vietnam as much as it belongs to India. So I think it contributes to bringing us together as one big family.
The performance in Vietnam was part of the world's largest yoga performance, carried out in 192 countries to celebrate the worldwide practice of yoga and raise awareness about its benefits to health and mentality. Ngọc Lê, Vietnam Television from Hanoi.
And that is the end of our program. If you would like to provide feedback or comment on anything here on our program, feel free to write to us at culturemosaic@vtv.vn and make sure to include your name and address. You can also log on to vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go for more of our program. Do not forget to join us next week for another episode of Culture Mosaic. This is Hoài Lương and goodbye for now.